Hello, everyone, and I'm so excited to be speaking with all of you today. My name is Jeffery Epting, also known as J. Paulo, and today I will be discussing coaching and mentorship and my approach to it. A little bit about myself. I am a teacher, I'm a promoter, I'm a mentor. I am also a singer, reality TV star, as well as a entrepreneur. In this video, like I said before, we will be discussing my approach to mentorship and coaching. And mainly, I will be discussing that from a teacher point of view as well as mentor. So one thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to try to just relax a little bit, because when it comes to mentorship and teaching, especially in the urban community, you do need to be very relaxed and empathetic to the situation that you're going into. I can say that my approach is very creative, because when I mentor, when I coach, I start by showing empathy and getting to know the person that I am mentoring or coaching. I think that is probably the most important thing you need to do in a mentoring and coaching situation, because they need to feel like you're a genuine person and that you genuinely care about the growth that they're going to make. When you mentor students, they need to know and have a relationship with you, because they don't learn from people they don't have relationships with, and we need to, as an educator, we need to focus on building those relationships and having those relationships with students. So that is always my approach when it comes to mentorship and coaching, is professionals, because if children don't learn from people they don't have relationships with, how do we expect professionals, educators, to learn from people that they don't have relationships with? So I start off by getting to know the educator, the person that I'm mentoring, and then I go from there. So some of my professional and personal goals for this year was to develop my skills in coaching and in mentorship. In doing that, I took on my own coach, and I sought out a coach that was going to help develop those skills and turn me into a better coach and mentor. Taking on this coach, they knew my content, they also knew my professional goals as well as personal goals, and they knew where I wanted to go. When I took him on, he started off by getting to know me as an individual, knowing the things that I liked, the things that I didn't like, and the things that I was passionate about, the things that sparked my creativity. In doing that, he was able to help develop a lot of these skills that I professionally wanted to develop. After seeking out my own coach, I noticed that our approach to coaching are very similar. He first started off by getting to know me as an individual and as a professional, the things that made me shine. And that is my approach when it comes to coaching and mentorship. When you coach an adult, when you're mentoring a child, or even when you're mentoring another adult, you want to seek out the things that make them shine. You want to seek out the things that make them smile, that spark in a certain individual. And that starts by forming that relationship. That is what my mentor did for me, and that is what I do for those people that I coach and mentor. The second thing that I do is I look at the areas of growth for certain individuals. I think this was a challenge, because a lot of the areas of growth for some of the mentees that I have aligned with things that I needed to work on as well. For example, one of my areas of growth was engagement inside of the classroom. That is a big area of growth. I can teach the content, I can grow students, but the engagement and the students, those bubble students, are sometimes lost. And I like to say lost in the sauce. My mentor said my classroom is not as engaged as I view it, and I need to take an outside picture of what is going on inside of the classroom. So there have been times within the last couple of weeks where I video recorded myself teaching, and I saw that there are moments in the class in my space where students are not engaged, and from there I develop ways where I can make the class more engaging, whether that is adding more partner talk, more group discussions, strategies from Kagan. Those are things that I added inside of my lesson, and I've seen a significant improvement within the last couple of weeks. Because I'm seeing that improvement, I wanted to take that and I wanted to add that to the individuals that I mentor and that I coach. I think a big thing for myself when it comes to mentoring and coaching was the management style of the classroom. That was one of the things that really came easy to me as an educator. And I saw that was an issue for some of the individuals that I mentored within my professional community. Classroom management is not a simple thing. You need to have clear expectations that need to be set, and you also need to have logical consequences when those expectations are not met. When you're working in an urban community, those consequences need to be followed through. If they're not followed through, then a lot of those things will continue to keep happening inside of the classroom. And I saw that happening with a lot of the individuals that I mentor. And my question to them was, how many times did you follow through with the consequence that you set? And a lot of the times they told me that they didn't follow through. And because of that, I asked the question, well, how do you expect the students to be manageable if you're not following through with the consequence, the logical consequence? If you're not following through with giving those clear expectations. And that is a question we need to ask ourselves as educators, as individuals. How are we holding ourselves accountable to those clear expectations and setting those logical consequences? So those are questions that I pose to them, and those are skills that I've been able to develop over the years and that I'm trying to develop within the individuals that I coach and mentor. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this journey that I'm taking this year, especially in these last couple of weeks, in developing my creative skills in coaching and mentoring. It is definitely a process. I definitely can say this is a process that is new to me, but I'm enjoying how creative I can be in getting to know these individuals and getting to grow these individuals, because I feel like professionally I'm able to grow as well if I'm able to do that for them. So I want to thank you for taking the time to listen, and I hope to see you next time for another video.